And if you look at the dramaturgy of everyday life, and the most tragic drama of everyday life is the drama of death. And if I were to ask you, what is it that you see? What would you say? What would you say? What do you see? Loud, loud. You can be loud because I have a mic.
A distressed woman.
Please observe that a distressed woman, she looks worried.
She's thinking about something.
She's thinking about something.
Bus ho gaya.
Bus ho gaya. She's anxious. She has a headache. She's fed up. Can't take it anymore. Shut down. She seems sad, morose.
She doesn't want to look around.
She doesn't want to look around. Yeah. Sharma rahi hai. Yeah. Now, if you look at level 1, level 2 and level 3 interpretations, what I see is an attractive woman with her head in her hands. Hasle, hasle. But she looks distressed, she looks worried is a level 2 interpretation. Bus ho gaya is a level 3 interpretation. So what I'm saying is that when you sensitize an ecosystem to look at what is a visual cue and then form your interpretations based on that visual cue, it takes you into a realm of sensitivity for even students in a given class then to understand the idea of observation, responsivity and interaction without saying, hello children, I want to talk to you about suicide today. That's not how you approach it. So the vice principals of one of the schools was asking me during lunchtime, how do you institutionalize this in a school system? And I look essentially at conflict. So this was brilliant because actually what you see is just a person with that she's distressed, she's worried, she has a headache, is a level 2 interpretation, and a level 3 is bus ho gaya, seh nahi pa rahi hu, and so on. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to restrict my. There's not a space here. Not a space. You can angle your chairs this way. You can angle your chair. Now, I'm going to take you through 3 slices of life. Just for people who come in recently, I'm speaking in this sexy whisper because I don't want to drown the sound coming from the... We're going to take 3 aspects of conflict. One that plays out in day-to-day social circumstances. It's a social context. The second is a personal context, and the third is an interpersonal context. And between intent, content, methodology, and process paradigm, The intent is to present the idea of conflict. The content is, it could be conflict in a social space, it could be conflict in a family situation, it could be a conflict in a peer group situation. I'm not coming to internal conflicts here, I'll come to that in a bit. That's the content. The methodology is theatre, and it is always followed by processing. So we have an activity and then you process it. And there are simple ways of processing. I will first demonstrate a very simple way of processing, and then we will get into more complex and complicated ways of processing. Then we will get into some technical content, and in each of those technical contents, we're slowly going to introduce the idea of conflict, then of distress, and then of despondency, and then of suicidality, and then of resolution. We'll do this till half the time, and in the second half, we will be constructing a performance piece which will be approximately 4 to 7 minutes in duration. And after the session is over, we break for tea before we meet for the remaining parts of the evening. If time permitting, we will stage it. I also want to let you know in advance, as I have told Sandy, ये मैं पहले हिंदी में कहूँगा, and for those who don't speak Hindi, please verify it. I translate it in English as well. दुनिया में दो तरह के लोग हैं. एक जो रेलगाड़ी निकलने से 3 घंटे पहले रेलवे स्टेशन पहुंचना चाहते हैं. दूसरे जो चलती हुई गाड़ी में पहले अपने सामान को फेंकते हैं, उसके बाद अपने आप को फेंकते हैं. मैं पहले कैटेगरी में. I have a flight at 7:50. So there are two kinds of people in the world. Those who reach a railway station 3 hours before the train leaves, and those who run after a just departing train, first throw their luggage and then throw themselves after the luggage. I'm in the first category. So we'll see how things go. So this is a social situation. It has nothing to do with youth or students or schools or colleges or depression or suicidality. It is just an ordinary social situation. I'll give you the context. This is a mobile shop owner and this is a customer. And we'll see how things play out as loud as possible. थोड़ा सा लाउडली.
ये वाला नया है, ये वाला चलेगा आपको? इसके फीचर्स बहुत अच्छे हैं. फोटो अच्छी आती है, बहुत अच्छी है. ये इसका फ्रंट कैमरा भी है, बैक कैमरा भी है. और कौन सा है
What more things you have? This is okay.
This one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking nice. Thank you. And more. आप बताओ कौन सा लूँ? You tell me what to take.
मोबाइल खरीदना है या आप ऐसे ही आए हैं?
आप बहुत जजमेंटल हैं. आप कस्टमर से ऐसे बात करते हैं? दिस हाउ यू टॉक टू कस्टमर्स?
आपको लेना है तो आपको पता होना चाहिए कौन से फीचर्स आप ढूंढने आए हैं।
और आपको पता होना चाहिए कि आपको पता होना चाहिए ना, आप मोबाइल बेच रहे हैं. हाउ कैन यू ब्लेम इट ऑन मी?
मुझे पता है आपको नहीं चाहिए, आप टाइम पास करने आए हैं।
तो टाइम पास करते हैं?
मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है आपके लिए टाइम पास।
नहीं, मुझे सही में लेना है. मेरे पास पैसे भी हैं, आपको देख के नहीं लग रहा क्या? आई वॉन्ट टू बाय, यू नो. डोंट जज द बुक बाय इट्स कवर. तो आप दिखाइए, आप अपना काम क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं? Why are you not doing your work? Your work is to show me the mobile phones, right?
I showed you 3, 4, 5.
You can show me more.
have
The
only
new
these ones.
iPhone, new one.
I don't have an iPhone. Sorry.
आपको लग रहा है मैं नहीं खरीद पाऊंगी मतलब? एक और दिखा दीजिए. Okay. And what price is this?
40,000.
Okay. And discount okay?
नहीं, सब डिस्काउंट के साथ।
नहीं, आप देते तो होंगे सबको डिस्काउंट, मुझे ही नहीं दे रहे.
नहीं, हम किसी को भी डिस्काउंट नहीं देते। आपने
आप
फिक्स प्राइस लिखा
अरे
है।
भैया, देखा है हमने सबको.
हमारी दुकान पर लिखा है फिक्स प्राइस।
थोड़ा तो कर सकते हैं, सुंदर लड़की देख के तो थोड़ा.
थैंक यू। थैंक यू।
ठीक है, और कहीं से देख लेंगे.
ठीक है, बैठी 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 इधर ही. So let's not pass any judgment, just an ordinary situation that took place. Now when we follow the intent, content, methodology and process paradigm, like I said, if we start with the intent to present a situation which has some semblance of conflict, the content and context is an ordinary slice of life situation. The methodology is theatre. But in the processing, there's a very simple way of processing. When we work with group of scholars and students, whether in a school or in a college, to say, let's not make any judgment. But what is going on here? Processing question number one. What is going on here? I'll come to that in the second processing questions, which is what are the feelings involved. So there is some level of mistrust, but what is happening here? What did you observe? Yeah, one second, huh?
Expectations are very different.
Expectations are different.
So there is a dialogue happening.
There's a dialogue happening. Yeah? Some sort of conflict. Okay. Sorry?
She wants the experience.
Okay.
Proper experience of buying a phone.
Right.
She isn't paying the price.
Right.
So she wants a good experience.
Right.
A variety of experience. And she wants the salesperson to give her that experience. It's her expectation.
Okay.
There's a negotiation happening.
It's a negotiation happening. Yeah.
She wants the salesperson to be nice to her.
Okay. Okay.
Just listening is not happening on her end. So क्या चाहिए वैसे वैसे.
So she doesn't appear to be receptive to. What are the feelings involved?
गुस्सा.
किस गुस्सा किसमें?
I think दोनों है थोड़े शायद.
You felt that they were both on the verge of anger.
Something like more irritability and anger.
Frustration.
Frustration भी है.
Okay. Acha.
There was a lot of disappointment from the customers.
Yeah.
She was disappointed.
Disappointed.
The
But also
salesperson-
hopeful कि कुछ मिल जाएगा इसमें.
Okay.
She's trying to push to see how much she can.
She was pushing her.
See how much she can.
How much she can. Okay.
She was frustrated.
Who?
The salesperson.
Okay. Processing question 2B. Why do you think she was frustrated? Huh?
Time pass.
She's straightforward.
She was very literal.
मस्त मौला.
Okay. Okay, she's not very serious about her job. Oh, you. No. Why was she frustrated?
I think customer
One second.
लोग आ आते हैं और परचेस नहीं करते हैं, ऐसे अनुभव है।
So maybe her past experiences, a lot of people come, they make me do work and they don't buy the freaking phone.
या
Yeah?
हाँ वही
Same person.
या फिर झगड़ा करता है
ये किससे?
घर से झगड़ा
She's had a fight at home and it's coming here and maybe she's agitating, cogitating, ruminating about it and it's spilling over into this situation, yeah?
The shopkeeper must have told me that she should have some clear idea of what sort of mobile I have to buy. Just generally coming and asking for that was she was not happy.
So the shopkeeper has an assumption that every customer who comes has done market survey and should be very savvy about what to buy and there are no novice customers in the world. Maybe she's not well. Maybe she's not well.
Hungry and wants to take a lunch break soon.
It was nearing the lunch break. She's just plain hungry, and you know what happens to people. There are often people who told me when they were cranky, the mothers would say, "You're hungry, eat." Hangry. She's hangry. Okay. How else do you think this situation could have been resolved?
I just sold her the phone and should have gone happy.
Okay, she could have completed the deal fast.
Before showing all the phones,
But I'll just come to you.
before showing all 5-6 phones, she could have asked her what kind of phone you want, a camera oriented or performance
So
oriented.
if she had clarified at the
Yeah.
outset, then there was no need to proceed with all the other stuff and dynamics that emerges, man.
I think similar questioning, different kinds of questions as to what are you looking for, features that you're looking for.
Okay.
Also telling what is the best in the market, what will suiting my needs.
Okay.
I think I did that.
Yeah. I'm coming. Yeah. Coming here. Coming.
She may ask what is the objective of purchasing the phone? What do you
That's
exactly
what he said.
expect?
Okay.
She could have asked her which phone you are using previously
Okay.
and what in that phone is not according to you and why do you want to change it.
Right. Yeah.
The salesperson should have given a print or a pamphlet which will include everything, like from every category which is the best for a camera, which are the best options, for storage, which are the best options.
Okay.
Yeah, she could have sent her colleague if she didn't wanna handle the client.
Okay. If she was not in a good mood, there were other people. She could have said that I'm coming to you. Yeah.
Like you said, humor could have also diffused the situation and
Humor could have diffused the situation. So what could she have said?
she would have said something like, I mean, in a humorous tone that she has seen previous experiences. This is not the first day at the job.
Okay. Coming to you.
Hi, how are you? How can I help you today?
All right. So you're scripting for her. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
If she's, it's possible that she's actually come for pastime, and if she has that experience, she can understand that this customer's come for pastime. She can also play that game. She knows she's just going to do some time pass. I'll have to put out 10 phones and she's going to not buy anything. She's going to leave. So she can agree to just play it fun.
Right.
She could have just come out very honestly saying कि आज मेरी तबीयत की मैम अगर मैं रूड साउंड कर रही हूँ आज मेरी तबीयत की वाट लगी हुई है आप मुझे ना थोड़ा हेल्प करना बताना आपको क्या चाहिए मेरे आज पेशेंस नहीं है ज़्यादा आप बुरा मत मानिए.
Yeah. I'm a little out of sorts. She says, I'm a little out of sorts. Forgive if I sound a little rude. I'm just telling you in advance. I'm not in the best of health, so just give me a longer rope, right? Yep.
After some time, it's all about your ego. Who's right, who's wrong.
Okay. It's all about ego. Yeah. What are we doing? Huh? किसने बोला? Who said processing? Shake her hand. Who else said processing? Yeah, shake her hand. Okay. Right? Hold on to that. I'll just give you the context. That's the mother, and this is the daughter.
मम्मा आज आप बहुत अच्छे दिख रहे हो.
थैंक यू बेटा, क्या चाहिए?
प्लीज
हर हफ्ते
आज लास्ट टाइम प्लीज.
नहीं, इस बार नहीं हो पाएगा.
प्लीज जाने दो ना.
नहीं, पढ़ाई,
फ्रेंड्स आने वाले हैं.
बोर्ड है यार, बोर्ड.
मैं कर लिए पढ़ाई सुबह से. प्लीज जाने दो ना.
नहीं, भेज नहीं सकती. पिछली बार गई थी ना, अब इस बार नहीं. हाँ, हफ्ते में हर दिन जाना
आज के
होता
बाद
है.
वापस नहीं जाना.
नहीं, अभी पढ़ाई पे फोकस करो. फोकस ऑन योर स्टडीज एंड देन आफ्टर यू पास यू गो. ओके.
मैं सुबह से पढ़ रही थी ना.
नहीं.
प्लीज
नहीं,
जाने दो ना.
कौन आएगा वहाँ पे?
सारे फ्रेंड्स आएंगे.
नहीं, वो सब तो वेले हैं, है ना. तुमको भी उसके जैसे बनना है, मतलब तुम्हें उनके जैसे गिरना है क्या? वो कुएं में कूदेंगे, तुम भी कूदोगी. सही बात है ना. अपना पीयर ग्रुप ही खराब है. मत जाओ, मेरी बात मानो. वो सब भी फेल होंगे, तुमको भी फेल कराएंगे. नहीं, वो नहीं. अच्छा की और उठना. लेकिन पार्टी, नो पार्टी. वहाँ पता नहीं क्या होगा, फूक रहे हैं और लड़के और फलाना, और रात घर का प्लान है. घर भी रात को ही आओगी या अभी रात को चली जाओगी छुपा के? नहीं, कोई जरूरत नहीं है जाने की. एक बार मना कर दिया ना, नो इज अ नो इज अ सेंटेंस. एक बार बस. आजकल के बच्चे मतलब माँ बाप से इतना मुंह चलाते हैं, बाय गॉड. नहीं, मतलब हमारे जमाने में एक बार डैडी मना कर देते थे तो हम दोबारा मुड़ के नहीं देखते थे. हम इतना पूछ ही नहीं पाते थे. लेकिन इतनी इनको लपेटे में लेते हैं ना, तो फिर निकल गई मेरी लड़की, तो निकल गई.
देखिए, ये शिकायत कर रही थी कि हम जैसे यूथ की आवाज को सुनते नहीं ये लोग. What was happening here? Negotiation. Convincing. To an extent pleading here.
This is a fact of life. I have a teenage boy. जब तक हाँ नहीं बोलेंगे ना, the body keeps on going. Right? जब तक हाँ नहीं बोलेंगे, it keeps on. This is a real life challenge.
इसका इंतजार कर रही थी मैं, पर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हुआ ही नहीं क्योंकि बच्चा बहुत समझदार है. वो 4 वाक्यों में उसने मान लिया, बैठ
पहले भी प्लीड किया था और मम्मी ने अलाउ कर दिया था. So the mother said कि लास्ट में गए थे वहाँ पर in a place where mother almost got convinced कि रात को लेट आओगी, and the kid was like, then the kid had that hope that यार शायद almost convince कर दिया मैंने. Then she was like little excited saying that कि नहीं रात को लेट नहीं आऊँगी. So this was kind of like the daughter is trying to sell the idea to the mother by empathy, compassion, and all the other formulas which has worked.
I think there was a kind of power game happening because the moment the child was resigning and giving up, the mother got louder. That she is right, she has the authority, she can have the last word. So I saw that power play also.
Right.
This can be seen as an example of good parenting.
Really?
And it's a young person who said that.
You can see how everything the child had tried in the past, उन्होंने एक accumulation किया था कि एक बार सारे फ्रेंड्स थे तब जाने दिया था, एक बार जल्दी आ गई थी तब जाने दिया था, एक बार बार बोलने पे जाने दिया था. तो वो सारी चीज़ें child could figure out. These are all the things that have worked for me. I tried working with them, and when the child saw, oh, none of this is working, and then tried going back to it कि मम्मा सब लोग फ्रेंड्स जा रहे हैं, प्लीज जाने दे दो. tried going back, but it still did not work. So then, चुपचाप जाके बैठ गए कि okay, maybe it's not also.
उन्होंने स्टडी किया था, वो बोली थी कि पूरा दिन या बहुत सारा स्टडी किया है।
You could do whisper translation for you.
उन्होंने उसके ऊपर ध्यान नहीं दिया, उसके ऊपर कुछ बोले नहीं और सिर्फ जाना नहीं है इतना ही।
Child was not rewarded for what the child.
Okay.
I think from the parent side, it was also about boundary setting, that if it's a no, it's a no. But it wasn't as firm as like we were trying to be.
I'll allow you after you pass and after you finish. So एक hope भी दिया है parents ने कि अभी ना बोल रही हूँ पर बाद में possibility है.
मेरा लड़की इसलिए वो बहुत शांत है, लड़का होता तो शायद मना ही लेता।
ये गलत है। मैं तो बहुत झगड़ा की हूँ अपने पेरेंट्स से और मार भी खाई है। लड़की लड़का का कुछ नहीं है। It's about how much you want to fight. I think there was also a sense of dismissal was what the child was feeling. Trying to assert yourself, but it came across more as a dismissal.
Okay.
She used a good way to tell her. मतलब लड़की को अपने criticize नहीं किया है. She criticized her peers rather than like punishing their own child or criticizing their own child. मतलब दूसरों को मतलब external factors को consider करके बताया.
When the child gave up, thinking that there's no point, she will never understand.
She felt powerless.
There was lack of logical answers from the mother's side. मतलब she could have said these are the reasons why you shouldn't go instead of just saying no. Right? First and second, that she said she'll only let her go if she passes the exam, which is not good. I think. That's basically setting unrealistic. Unrealistic मतलब कि अगर fail कर गई तब तो कभी नहीं मिलेगा जाने को. या फिर next year जब फिर से repeat करके pass करूँगी तब जाने मिलेगा. What does it look like?
Okay.
So the mother refused to engage with her. She was just being very rigid.
We were both pretty stubborn and rigid, and there was no dialogue about why it's important for her not to go and why it was important for her to not get to go. So I feel like we were both pretty stuck on the outcome on it.
Right. What were the feelings involved?
It was triggering for me just to see the child continue asking. Oh my God, it put me in the situation where I have to say no how the child.
Disappointment?
Fear on the mother's part. Fear on the mother's.
बच्चा बिगड़ जाएगा।
Sorry?
कुछ तो हो जाएगा. बिगड़ जाओगे.
Being in the process.
कुछ तो हो जाएगा. कुछ हो जाएगा. क्योंकि कुछ होता है.
More than fear, it was body.
Protection.
Wha-
Control. Mother wanted to have the control over the child.
Why?
Maybe because she does not have control over anything.
Because the mother doesn't have control over anything else in her life.
Hope for her. Hope for the daughter.
Sorry?
Hope for the daughter. Daughter को hope थी कि थोड़े convincing से हो जाएगा.
No, I hear a lot of people saying the mother is afraid, she's fearful, she's scared, she's anxious. And I'm asking about what?
No, I safety, daughter safety.
Child's? Sorry? लोग
I don't think कि
कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना छोड़ो बेकार की बातों में कहीं भी. What is she trying to protect the child?
If a child is going out for a late party, it could be child can fall into a bad company, get into bad habits.
But ma'am, she was saying no from the very beginning, right? Before she knew that it is going to be a late party. I feel like she was being protective about herself because then
Negotiation happened.
If something happened, she would be blamed.
no, बच्चा बिगड़ रहा है, मम्मा ने जाने दिया इसके लिए. Let's put it that.
Basically, what happens like, I'm just even putting myself here. But why would I say no to my son? Well, I have actually lost one of my brother going to a similar party and he never came back. So they all decided to go on a long drive. So something of this can also happen.
Okay.
These boys decide to go on a long drive.
Yeah.
So that fears me. I never let him go to be at a restaurant or at someone's house. Who's the responsible adult at that house? And if I got clear, definitive answers, who's driving you back? Will there be drinks and waiting in the party? If I were, can I talk to your friend's mom? I think we can't hold that. And that didn't happen because I guess it was a very small.
Okay. Arindam?
Would it be just an envy on the field?
Wow. I never had so much of fun in my life. Why should you?
Envy.
Sure.
I'm able to, she was not able to.
So, like, with all due respect,
Yeah.
the mother's power felt challenged with the way she was like constantly telling her that these kids don't listen, they want to do all sort of things, and they never listen to their parents and all of that. It felt like she was like putting this expectation onto the child that she should behave like they used to.
Right.
The first challenge we have started, Mama today you are looking nice. उसी समय मम्मा ने पहचान लगी इसको झाड़ू चाहिए.
Okay.
So this might be happening every time. अगर चाहिए तो बच्चे इस तरह से आते हैं. तो मेरी my daughter is coming. So she is mentally prepared to say yes or no. Previously she could ask anything.
Right.
She was mentally little.
Right. Right.
ये कुछ तो मांगने वाली.
Right. Coming to you.
I think at the adolescent age, when parents see that their children are going out of control, sometimes they need to feel that control and say, oh, sometimes I might just say no for no reason, just to exert my control.
But then, to your point, parents actually start this entire cycle, you know, that once you do this, I will give you this, right? It's like this, do this and you get the reward. So children learn ki I give you a compliment and then baat ban jata hai.
Coming to you.
It was just a conditioned response like your mother.
On whose part?
Mother.
Okay.
It will provoke rebellious behavior in the child. मतलब एक बार denial का start हो गया तो फिर वो rebel करेगा.
Okay.
There's also mistrust that she won't perform well if she
एक
goes
बार
to
denial
party.
शुरू कर देता है
She's like,
without
"Exam I'm
getting to.
Okay.
not like her voice still perform."
Yeah.
Peer pressure of like
Right.
I'm just going to say this to her point, wanting to clarify who's going to be the driver and what not. The mother doesn't have, there's so many unknown factors, and no matter how much she asks, there will be the unknown. To protect the fear of the unknown, she just immediately cancels.
Right. General sir?
this could also be one of those dynamics of pursuer and pursued.
Wow. Deep.
Contrary to what we said earlier, it could also be because the mother herself has gone through something traumatic.
I see. Right. Right.
What I saw was that the communication was fairly broken down.
Okay.
That the daughter was also just speaking in a loop, the mom was speaking in her own loop, but there was no actual communication.
Right.
Mother is saying like that just because her father is against that.
Her father. Okay. Her father.
What I also saw was a slow-moving frustration. So it started with a dialogue of, yeah, there was lack of understanding, but it started with a soft and patient dialogue, and then it slowly grew into frustration, and the argument just became more and more illogical or more and more rigid throughout, till the point where the mom said that children nowadays, they just don't listen to their parents.
Okay. Someone here? Yes, ma'am.
Subconsciously, the oppressed becomes the oppressor.
Who is the oppressed and who is the oppressor here?
The mother must have had those experiences earlier, not similar, but whatever.
Yes, ma'am.
I think the way she started when giving her compliment, she had in her mind a fear, already a fear that she might say no. Let me start buttering her up from the day from the word go. And she probably was trying to see how she can negotiate, because it might, she knows that the example, whatever is going on. So she's trying to pull off what she wants to do by trying to approach her mother in a way which she feels her mother might accept.
You know, when Lev Vygotsky spoke of the classroom as a collaborative community where knowledge is jointly constructed, what is happening here? What's happening here? What is happening here? But what else are we doing? Huh? Shake your own hand. Processing. It was also interesting for me how some of the observations went from a more distanced third-party observation to both a second-party and a first-party observation about your own perhaps ideologies. And this is exactly what working in classrooms with a group of students means, because the facilitator doesn't come with any preconceived ideas of what I want you to think or what decision I want you to take. But the fact that a situation of potential conflict can be visualized and understood and processed in very many different ways. And depending on how you process it, you can come up with conclusions that are not necessarily logical. That doesn't mean you're bad or unintelligent. It just means that we are all in some ways victims of our own processing errors. And this is a technique that is essentially used to turn a classroom of scholars into thinking, analytic minds. And the moment there is a transition, there's a shift to an analytic process, that's the start of skilled conflict resolution. We're going to do another round here, and then I'm going to shift gears. So it so happened that the mother capitulated and gave her daughter permission to go to this party. So she goes to the party, and there is this peer of hers in the party, and there's an interaction that takes place. And we'll see what this interaction. तो आप माइक को थोड़ा हाँ ऐसे.
और हेलो पार्टी में आ गई मम्मी को बना के.
मुझे बहुत मनाना पड़ा.
मस्त कैसे बनाया, क्या बोला?
बोलना पड़ा मम्मी को कि मैं जल्दी आ जाऊंगी.
अरे सबके घर का वही है यार. मैंने भी वही उनको कॉपी पेस्ट किया. आप इन दोनों कितने स्मार्ट हैं. ले पी ले थोड़ा सा मस्त. अरे पार्टी में आई है, पूजा करने आई है क्या पार्टी में? दिख भी सुंदर रही है, तो इसी से तो पी के मजा होगा. अरे भाई इम्पोर्टेड माल है, तू ऐसे क्यों कर रही है? ऐसे क्यों कर रही है?
इम्पोर्टेड माल है.
तेरी कोई दूसरी फ्रेंड बन गई है क्या? तो मेरे साथ ऐसे. अरे पी ले यार, फिर और झूम के नाचेंगे.
इसीलिए शायद मुझे पार्टी में नहीं भेज रहे.
तो तुझे घर जाना है, निकल तू अभी पतली गली से निकल. अरे यार तू मेरे को दोस्त नहीं मानती क्या?
तुम मेरी दोस्त हो.
भाई अपन जय और वीरू एकदम आग लगा देंगे, वैसे ही सब ताड़ते हैं अपन को. तू एक घूंट पी ले और तुझे जन्नत दिख जाएगी, मैं बता रही हूँ। मैथ्स के मार्क्स बढ़ जाएंगे, मैं बता रही हूँ, मैं लिख के दे रही हूँ। आज तू एक घूंट पी ले, बस तू है मेरी मस्त दोस्त। उधर पे जाके पी रही है, मैं एक और लेके आती हूँ ना, दोनों बहनें पियेंगी अकेले अकेले, एक चीयर्स मारेंगे, टोस्ट करेंगे, मस्त यार, पी लो। फिर तू नौटंकी चालू हो गई तेरी, दूसरे ग्रुप में है क्या तू? यार तू कूल नहीं है यार, फिर तू हमारे ग्रुप से कट ले यार, रोए मत, बस ये आंसू इसी में गिर रहे हैं, पी ले मस्त। तो इधर आ, बहन के पास क्यों नहीं खड़ी हो रही? बहन पी ले, इधर आ, प्यार से बैठ, तू बता, कोई टेंशन चल रही है क्या? तेरा उससे ब्रेकअप हुआ है क्या? कुछ बोला क्या उसने?
किसी ने कुछ
हाँ कोई बात नहीं, गिफ्ट दे रहा है वो कि नहीं दे रहा? फिर तूने रख दिया, पी अभी पी, फिर मैं बुरा मान जाऊंगी, फिर मैं चली जाऊंगी, फिर तू कृति से ही बात कर लेना। मैं चली जाऊं? मतलब मैं नहीं रही तेरे लिए, मैं नहीं रही तेरे लिए। तू भी बहन, अकेले अकेले पीने में मजा नहीं आता, तू मेरे से पी। अपना जूठा पियेंगे तो प्यार बढ़ेगा ना। ये क्यों है ना, तू पिएगी यार, क्यों आई है? पूजा करेंगे क्या अपन? लेमन जूस पियेंगे क्या? कोको कोला पिए? बच्चे हैं क्या, कोको कोला पियेंगे? हम बड़े हो चुके हैं, तू बड़ी कब होगी? छोटी रही आएगी तू, वही उसी ग्रुप में रहना है तेरे को, छोटे वाले। अभी पी तू, अभी बड़े बनेंगे अपन, तू पी। अरे यार तू ही जा रही, मैं पास आई जा रही। ये बहन इतना क्या, तू मतलब मैं पी रही हूँ तो मैं अच्छी नहीं हूँ? मैंने पी लिया तो तू मेरे साथ पी क्यों नहीं रही है? फिर यही, अरे कसमें वादे छोड़, कसमें वादे छोड़, विस्की रम में आ।
And the Filmfare award for an actress in the lead role goes to
अब तो पी सकते हैं।
What's going on here? What are the feelings involved? How else could this have been resolved? What is the source of her inhibition? What is she afraid of? Why is she trying to persuade her? Is there an ulterior or a bad motive in her persuasion? Is she actually a warm and vibrant friend? Is she just a warm and vibrant friend, not a bad person at all? She's just vivacious and warm and fun-loving, and she's not a bad person. You know, you can form your processing questions in as many ways as children respond to the excitement of the dramaturgy that you're creating to get a context alive. So what we've done so far is I've tabled for you the idea, for some of you who came a little late, what we started with was an amorphous exercise with a visual cue. We'll do it again, but not with the same cue. We'll do it with another cue, and this is how we will do it. So this is your cue. Just go, yeah. No, yeah. Still, yeah. Just, that. One leg forward, one leg forward. Yeah.
Sorry.
Bend forward. Yeah. आप यहाँ से सीधी बजाओ, सीधी. Yeah. No, ऐसे बस. Still. Now, what do you see here? Sorry?
Someone's holding him.
Snatching.
No, who is she?
thief, police, and like.
He's a thief.
Husband,
Husband, wife. It's a thief, someone who's trying to catch, and then a policeman, a husband who's running away from an irate wife. Perhaps.
They are in the same group. Right now, when she was upset and all that, then she saw her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And she's holding him to go, not to go.
That's possible.
And she happens easily.
So here's a request to everyone. Let's master the art of silent laughing. So you can just repeat after me. Yeah. 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 So any laughter, if at all, needs to be on a silent mode. The interpretation could also be that this is actually a football kind of game, and this is a player who stripped another player, and the irate player is catching him, and that's the referee. My point being that the source of distress in a situation of conflict is always based on an interpretation of perceived harm. And perceived harm is responded to either with retaliation or with internalization. And if there is no vent for the perceived harm to be shared or disclosed, then the internalization wells up. आप इधर आ जाइए ना. Then the internalization wells up as a rising tension, and then it reaches a certain point where it sort of destabilizes, and your equilibrium mechanisms fail, your emotional regulation fails, and it reaches a point then where choice over decisions tend to get focused on a very thin and sharp fulcrum of impulsivity. So most people, unless we're talking about serious mental illness, for most people, these situations are one of impulse. And nowhere in parenting or in school education are we taught how to deal with our impulses. Now, impulses are not right or wrong. It's quite all right to feel upset and distress and so on, but when we are not taught to really deal with impulses, when push comes to shove, it reaches a critical point where rational analysis fails, and the escalating distress then compels you into a very circumscribed decision-making process where, then I'm devalued, I can't take this anymore, there is no recourse, there's no solution, no one is helping me. You feel sort of closed in of options and opportunities, and that's the space in which this impulse then explodes into untoward behavior. Now, for a group of 11-year-olds or 14-year-olds or 16-year-olds to understand this, this actually relates to the point that Lorraine herself raised in the morning when I met her casually. What is our entry point in suicide prevention? Our entry point need not be suicide prevention. Our entry point need not even be mental health. Our entry point, therefore, becomes, let's talk about conflicts in everyday life, and everybody undergoes conflict. And conflict is not a bad thing by itself. It's a way of life. And from all that has been shared, we've heard many voices speaking about their own predicament, your predicament about the belittling sometimes that occurs, this whole ageism, reverse ageism process. I don't know, when you spoke about, your own struggles within a social reality and a regime which was dictatorial. So we've heard voices here, and all of us have faced conflicts in our life, because conflict is part of the way that humanness and relationships are constructed. There is no context which is conflict free. They may not be catastrophic. In some places they are. In Romania it was catastrophic, till the regime fell, and then, the whole reconstruction process started. Similarly, your situation is troublesome. It's upsetting. It hasn't reached a proportion where it is catastrophic, because you're here and you're supported, you're respected, and and you have a level of conviction. But if you had not been with these people, not been in this space, that processing may have progressed in some other way, and some belittling or some trivializing may have triggered off a chain of thoughts which, takes you to. So to present this idea in a very gentle way, while I'm conscious of the limitations of this geographic space, I must say that when I go to schools, one of the things that disturbs me most is silence. When I go to school, I want to listen to children's laughters, because learning cannot occur in an atmosphere of fear and anxiety. That constriction, don't move, don't talk. Which is why when the class gets over, why do you think the doors bang open and they run out with, they shout and they run. So constriction is not a good way for learning to take place. We are of course conscious, and we will respect it'll be deeply respected. In fact, even before you came, I had said that I would be speaking in a whisper, my theater whisper, because I was conscious of the session going on that side. Let's shift gears now. Can we have the... Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Present a frame of reference to you. You're all familiar with the term life skills. It's the latest stuff. Eaten, regurgitated, franchised, and everybody's talking about life skills. World Health Organization spoke about it as a set of 10 skills. What is important to understand? Oops, ये क्या हुआ? ये pointer नीचे है ना? Oh, this one, okay. Oh, that's the pointer. I thought that was a slide mover. Oh, thank you. If you take a skill like decision making in a peer pressure context, decision making in a gender context, decision making in a career choice. So a skill applies in more than one context. In a given context, more than one skill applies. So if you look at the 10 life skills which WHO speaks about, and they go in 5 pairs. Decision making and problem solving is a pair. Coping with emotions and coping with stress is a pair. Communication skills and interpersonal skills is a pair. Creative critical thinking, self-awareness and empathy. So if you go back to a given context, in a given context, more than one skill may apply. So a skill applies in more than one context, and in a given context, more than one skill applies. There is also an interplay between context and content where pedagogy is concerned. Gender is the context. Gender violence is the content. Gender violence is the context, impact on women's mental health is the content, impact on mental health is the context, where is help available is the content. So there is a play, and an important one, between context and content, and the relationship of life skills and the context of application is triangulated by methods of learning which are experiential pedagogies rather than pedagogies that are didactic in nature, for children to actually internalize not just what conflict means, but how I think through conflict and how do I find my internal and my external responses to a given conflict. Now, while the World Health Organization spoke about these 10 life skills, what I'd like to do today is I'm dividing them into 3 major domains. One is on communication and interpersonal skills, decision making and critical thinking, and coping and self-management skills. If you look at the arborization of these 3 domains, and if you look just at communication and interpersonal skills, it has the following skills. If you take just interpersonal communication, it has a whole set of skills. So we are saying that there are 3 major domains. In the first domain of interpersonal communication skills, it has 5 subdomains. And each of these domains has certain skills and approaches that we use on a day-to-day basis to deal with life, its challenges, relationships, the conflicts that we may experience, and so on. We're going to take each of these and I'll give you a flavor of how they can play out particularly in interpersonal relationships. We'll take 1 or 2 which also have to do with personal relations. So conflicts can be internal or personal, but conflict can also be interpersonal, of the nature that sort of could have gone through with the mother and the daughter, or with 2 peers. But sometimes the conflict can be completely internal. It is not in the context of something that happened in a relationship. It is my own sense of myself, the self in relation to self, not the relational self, but the self in relation to self, and my own ideas of the ideal self, and some of the distortions and schisms that I find in my sense of myself, and and how that can sort of trigger stuff. So conflict resolution, distress escalating into suicidality. That's the range of phenomenology that is possible. What we are trying to do is that process, we are taking it to the level of conflict and conflict resolution and working around that to contain it so that it doesn't escalate into distress, into ascendant distress, and then